What up, what up, what up, what up? This your boy Comedic Energy.
It's your boy Kraynupe.
And this is the Dirty
30.
30. We got a special guest in the building.
How y'all doing? This is Dynasty. Hey.
Dynasty in the building. We move this over a little bit so you can see her a little better. Yeah. What's poppin', man?
Man, I'm here to see what y'all Dirty Mouth Radio is going to talk about, because I know me. I'm going to say what you really want to say, but don't.
All right. Shit. Let's keep it dirty then.
I'm talking about. Keep it real, keep it raw.
You already
1,000.
dirty.
I'm going to keep it 95 plus a nickel with you.
All right.
Ooh.
So tell us a little bit about you first.
All right, so I go by many names. Dynasty is my talk show host name, so I can keep my name under wraps. Prior to that, I just love music. I love making people laugh and, independent vibes all day.
Okay. All right. Where you from?
I'm from Illinois, but I live in the South right now.
South where?
Y'all asking me so many questions and shit, I got
There we
motherfuckers
go.
online too. Waiting. In this video here.
So I guess we'll leave it at the South. All right, good enough.
Chicago, Illinois, man.
Yeesh.
Whew.
Man.
Sips tea.
Man, you need to sit too.
Well, all right, so I wanted to talk about something, right? I wanted to talk about the viral video that happened not too long ago with the girl getting flued out, right? That turned into straight.
You want to start with that? Because that's gonna be a conversation. You want to start with what I got?
I mean, what you want to do? You want to start with you?
We can start with.
All right, go ahead. Start with you, man. What's up?
All right. Okay. All right. Screw it. All right. So we'll get into the girl getting flued out later. But first off, let's start off by this. Upon one of my journeys last week, I found myself in deep thought, answering questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I came up with this question, this idea of I wanted to go around and ask women their whole concept and their thought process behind using sex as currency.
What?
Often, right. You say what? But see, as a man, we don't understand this. But this is something that women go through every day. So, like, with women, it's not about money. Nobody ever looks to women for money. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
It's almost as if, like, with a woman, they're always found in a position where, in order to gain some type of ground or some type of success or something that they want in life, they always have to dig in the sex vault, and you know what I'm saying, and use sex as a form of currency. And it doesn't just pertain to like intercourse and stuff, but like
appearance and shit,
flirting,
yeah,
appearances, the way they talk, the way they walk, the way they carry themselves. It's almost like it's become a currency for the woman in order to progress in society. So I just wanted to kind of know, like, because as men, we don't find ourselves in that position. We're always the ones who trying to get it. Mm-hmm. Women, a lot of times they come into different business situations. If they want to do music, if they want to start a business, if they want to get some money for something, it's always like a transaction. And it's like, all right, I give you what you want. You know what I'm saying? So long as I like you. Mm-hmm. So you as a woman, like, how often does that come into play? Like, is this a daily thing, or is it like every so often? Like, where do you find these places where you have to trade in your sexuality for
sexual
success?
energy, pretty much, yeah.
Right.
Well, I say for any woman in the world, whether you here in the US or in the country, you're going to give that off, especially if you take care of yourself. If you coming out there looking sexy, you got on something tight, it's always going to be a sexual energy with a woman. The thing that stops that from manifesting and continuing to grow is how she lets a person know. Like, if I check niggas all the time, I go through the sexual energy all the time. So if you check a motherfucker real quick one time and you let them know that you're not about that, keeping it at a head level, you don't have to worry about that. If you a woman who curious and know how to get what you want, knowing that as long as you got this and this here good thing, you don't need nothing unless you want it, then you're putting that in the atmosphere, giving that opposite attraction. Because, you know, we can't just say heterosexuals anymore. But if you're giving out that energy is gonna, it's just a matter of how you stop the process in the beginning before it gets any bigger.
So you find yourself doing that every day?
Yes. For me, I can't speak for every woman. I give off that energy. I'm bubbly, I'm social, I'm cool. I like to keep myself up. I wear tight clothing. I give off sex appeal. And if my personality goes well with that, it's always going to be somebody that I'm going to have to check or let know. Hey, we good. It's not like that.
So from a man's standpoint, being a man, a lot of times I find myself working with a lot of women in different situations like photography and different things like that. And when it gets into like the entertainment industry, it's kind of hard not to encounter that sexual transition, you know what I'm saying? Because there's always like this, okay, when I'm singing, I gotta be sexy. When I'm taking a picture, I gotta be sexy and stuff like that. So as a man, it's kind of like they already look into you. And a lot of women don't like doing business just off of perceptions anyway. They'll look at me and instantly think, oh, he trying to get at me. You know what I'm saying? Or he trying to use this as a means to get
some ass.
Get some ass, when it's like totally platonic. Like, I'm really just trying to do business with you. So it's like, as a man, it's like I feel guilty before I'm even proven. You know what I'm saying? So like, I have to do whatever I can not to take it there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it makes it really hard. It's like you're stepping on eggshells in a conversation because you don't want to make her feel uncomfortable and stuff. You know, you don't want to make her feel like that's what you want. But I feel like, is there ever a point where men and women can just do business and just feel comfortable with doing business without that sexual currency, we'll call it?
But I think, I don't mean to cut you off, but I feel like that is also a societal thing. I feel like that's one of those things where, like you said, you're guilty before you even proven innocent. You know, when you first walk out the door, you first meet somebody from the opposite sex, they're already thinking you trying to get some ass. Before you even say anything, it could just be the way you look at them, you know? And the first thing they think, oh, he wants some ass. So it's like, it's truly a societal thing. And that, because I've been in a situation like that plenty of times, a lot of times, right? When all I'm trying to do is really just have a conversation with you. I had an issue like that at work. This girl, she had some nice tattoos. And all I said was, yo, your tattoos look beautiful. And she was like, oh, here we go. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? All I'm doing is giving you a compliment, but you think it's sex. Everything is not a come online, but in this society that we in, it's sex driven. So it's like, I don't know, for me as a man, it's one of those things where I'm gonna just do my best to prove you wrong if my intention is not to be sexual with you. I gotta prove my case every single time.
I'm gonna go a little bit deeper. I'm gonna say it's a mind thing. If a woman been told all her life she look good, you know, she got that conceited mindset, she gonna automatically assume every time a guy in opposite sex approaches her that they looking at her. You have to be mindful of people's mindsets. You have to look at how they think. And it starts with eye contact when you're talking to somebody, in my opinion, to see how uncomfortable can they hold eye contact. Are they, you know, shy? Can they show me that they stern and firm? And then it goes about the context of the situation, or the context, not context, but That's how I feel. Everybody talk to me every day. I've accepted it, men and female, but I've come to a point where it's like I'm gonna have to check him or her. And you do it in a seldom, nice, professional way. With the type of work that I do, I have to do it every day, even if I don't want to. So I think it's about the mindset. You can tell a woman just by speaking a little bit to her, whether she ain't spoke to somebody all day or if she got a cocky attitude or she already confident. It just depends on the mindset to me.
So do you think that these dilemmas that we go through with these, these conversations and these interactions that we have with one another, as far as like male and female, do you think they create some type of hindrance and boundary for us as a people to progress?
Yes, because if you're not mature enough to have a conversation with somebody to lay the law down on whatever it is, it's always going to be in the air. And then we've been taught as society and conditioned to say, oh, sex sells. You know what I'm saying? Women have always exploited themselves. So with that in mind, we have to take that out of the context and say, okay, outside of TV, as people reading, are people digging deeper and coming to it like it's not always going to be like that. So if a guy approaches me, I'm not going to automatically assume he wants me. I'm going to see where his head. I give him a little bit more of my time. Sapiosexualism. I'm a sapiosexual. Before I have any type of intercourse or think about any sex with anybody, I want to know if you can feed my mind. You're not going to walk up to an ugly person and be like, hey, how you doing? Something about that person has to attract you first.
Exactly. Yeah, I just feel like it's just difficult. It's just difficult as, I mean, both men and women. Like if you just a genuine guy and you just trying to progress through life and just make moves and do business and stuff, it's difficult. And on the man's part, and then for a woman it's difficult because they're always met with like these barriers, like, oh, you gotta do this, or you're not gonna be the best number one singer in the world and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that it's very difficult for us as a people to progress forward when all we have on our mind is sex, and like we're just using sex as a currency to pay for whatever we want. Like if you just want a candy bar from the store, you know what I'm saying, and you ain't got the money to pay for, a simple wave of your titties and shit might change that whole conversation. Or the same thing with a cop stopping you at a you know what I'm saying, at a stop sign or something. You turning a certain way or doing a certain thing or speaking a certain way might get you out of that ticket,
I like when you said might, because again, it goes off that other person's mindset and how they think by showing a little bit. I could go in the store and show my titties and the dude could be so mature that he turned off by that. He like, shorty, what you doing? That ain't gonna get you what you need. Then you could have a low vibrational asshole come in there and be like, shit, give her whatever she wants. And the way that you know that is by giving a little bit of your time. Just a little piece of conversation will let me personally know where your head at. Just a little bit. If I can't even do that, then, that tells me that I'm going to be too much for you.
I wonder what the world would look like if we didn't use sex as a currency. Like, would we just lose our sexual prowess? Would it just, you know what I'm saying?
People would probably say that we are boring. They wouldn't find it'd be a lot of Sodom and Gomorrah shit behind closed doors.
You think so?
Yeah. Unless you make it publicly open to give people that comfortability. Us in the world and media has given people so much comfortability to where people try to keep up with the trends. They don't know how to be a non-conformist anymore. Know how to go what you want to do and beat at your own drum. Don't be worried about the next person. And that's what's wrong with teenagers and people in high school. They so worried about getting the clothes and shoes because they're conditioned based on what they see. They don't know how to be their own person. You don't find out who you are until in college, in my opinion.
Yeah, I guess you're right about that. Unless you had some external circumstances when you're younger and it forces you to grow up fast. But I mean, even then, shit, you don't know who you are. Like, because you're
still trying to figure that out.
Right.
Yeah, you're still trying to figure it out as a child, because once you get to a certain point, people stop treating you a certain way,
Yeah.
But this whole transition is kind of into like what you was about to talk about, comedic, as far as old boy flew in. What do they call it? Flued out? I don't know. My ass old as shit. 30.
My ass is too. I had to figure that shit out my damn self, right?
I get lost. I get lost in the transitions of
I had to, man.
context.
If my sisters was around, they'd be like, yo, your old ass can't use those type of words. But
go ahead.
So the thing is, and this happened like a couple weeks ago. So apparently, the guy flew out this girl. When we say flew out, that means he paid for her ticket, wherever she was at, to come stay with him. Now, pause for the cause, right? Mm-hmm. Of course, when he flew her out, he was thinking about sex. He wanted to smash.
Here comes the currency, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the whole notion of being flued out that is in everybody's head is I'm going to fly you out so I can knock that pussy out. You know, for lack of a better phrase, that's kind of what it is, right? I mean, it's Dirty Mouth Radio. We're just going to keep it raw, right? So she said that she's not trying to do that. She wasn't trying to give him no sex. Now, if you listen closely to the video, he says, look, you were here, you were walking around with your titties out, laying in my bed, I was paying for all of this shit, and you're not gonna give me no ass? I got to let you go. You got to find your way because you knew what it was from the jump. Now,
did she know what it was from the jump?
That's the question, right? That is the question. And now we have a female perspective on it that can give us some more insight into how it may work, or the female mindset when it comes to being flued out.
The theory behind being flued out.
So, before we go in depth into this, are you single?
Yes.
Okay. Have you been flued out before?
Yes, I have.
So can you give us the female interpretation of being flued out?
From jump. If a man finna spend his money and y'all have had a conversation and he didn't set up there and ask for your name and date of birth, because you got to get all that shit before to get a flight and all that, she knew that he wanted some ass. Now, she could have been petty because there's idiocracies between a man and a woman, and said, fuck you, nigga. He might have did something to piss her off, and she decided that she was going to just not give him any. That's what I think happened. Because anytime you in a long distance relationship and y'all talking amongst, flying each other out, everything else falls into place. I'm going to give up some ass if a man flew me out and he paid for it. You know why? Because we had a conversation about it and I had to give you all that information and you paying for it. So I already know that you're going to want something else.
What you got, Craig?
I don't know, bro. I don't feel like it's okay. If the understanding is that I'm flying you out to come over here and get some ass. First of all, this whole concept is just fucking ridiculous. Because I just don't understand. We're like really going out of our way to get, like, we're paying for pussy at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we're taking it a step further past pulling up on a corner and picking up a chick, right? So as opposed to like just getting some quick pussy, we actually want the prequel to the sex scene. We want the whole walk through the door, talk a little bit, the whole setup. We want to go through the whole movie before we get to that point.
Yeah.
So like, niggas is living in these motherfucking movies and just creating these ideal worlds. But I don't think that it's mandatory for a girl to give something up when she's getting flown out or whatever, right? Because then that just goes into the misogynistic mindset. Like, if I pay with my money, then you pay me back with your body. You know, the idea of sexual currency. So it's a woman's preference, and she should be able to decide what it is she wants to do. You stupid, I'm sorry, bro, but you dumb for paying for a lot you're paying for pussy that's a liability. Like, it's not confirmed that you're going to get it or not, you know? At least if you pull up on the block.
Say that again.
I'm sorry. How would we know that? Because I think any man in their right mind that's going to sit up there and pay for you to come out, there was some type of agreement and some type of communication prior to that level. He may have been dumb because he didn't understand how petty or low vibrational they were when they got in that little argument. And he was like, fuck you, bitch, leave. I canceled it. That's being petty because you're upset. If you're a mature person and y'all had a conversation and been talking prior to, she knew what it was. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Whether she chose to give up ass the first night or the second night, it was some agreement to where they were going to have sexual intercourse.
So where do you think the ball got dropped in? Because if you were saying that she was already gonna do it in your, that's how you think, right? So where do you think the ball dropped? What do you think changed in her mindset where she was like, I'm not about to give it no pussy?
Maybe they went out to dinner and he was flirting with a bitch and she got upset. It escalated and it got into a petty argument. Maybe she didn't want to do what he wanted to do. There was some type of no compromise somewhere. Think about it. I'm tired. I've been drinking all night, but you want to keep drinking. I'm tired. I've been laid out. I'm so sleepy to where we didn't have sex, even though we talked about it that whole day. Just little petty nitpicking stuff that will cause an argument that you can't diffuse because there's nobody there to help diffuse that situation. Then you begin to see the mindsets and the pettiness of people. They not mature enough, because if they were, and he was a good person, he wouldn't have canceled her ticket. He would have cared about her enough to make sure she got home safe because he flew her out there. In the event that he didn't, and he was like, fuck you, bitch, that just lets you know that he was over it, already pissed off because shit wasn't going his way from John.
I think prior to her coming though, I could speak like this because I know a lot of guys who go through this. Like, a lot of times, like, men have a problem with like communicating exactly what they want, especially when it comes to like sex, because we are always being rejected. So we always have to step on, you know, it's like we're always stepping on these egg cartons. We're trying to be careful because we have to circumvent the idea of having sex so that we can have sex. You know what I'm saying? So like, a lot of times, like, where these guys are fluting, or whatever the fuck the pre-verb or
he slide.
Whenever these guys are doing these things, it's like you're talking to the girl on the FaceTime, you doing all this, they're showing you all these goodies and stuff. And a lot of girls just like to tease. Like, I don't understand that.
I'm a tease.
I don't necessarily like to be teased. But it's cool, you know what I'm saying? If it's going to lead to something, but most girls just like to tease and they know it's not going to lead to nothing. They just want to explore that sexual experience, you know what I'm saying? And that's fine. But a lot of times, guys, like, we don't catch that. We think, okay, because she take these pictures, she a freak, or she do this on the phone, she a freak, she want to give up the good. But we won't communicate that. We just automatically feel like it's understood. So we get in a position where we buying the ticket, we do this. We think that all of this pretext is for this one reason. And in her mind, she could be petrified of the idea. You know what I'm saying? She could be totally afraid because it is a scary situation for a woman to just fly out.
She got ass on that plane though, didn't she? She didn't say nothing about that. You wasn't scared to get on that plane, huh?
She wasn't scared to get on the plane, and she wasn't scared to walk around with her shit out. You know, but I think the reason why she didn't give it up is because he was so thirsty. If he would have played it a little cooler, he might have got what he wanted. But once she started seeing that transition, it just started getting further and further and further away from what he wanted. You know what I'm saying?
think it went deeper than that though. I think it was a level of thirst. But I also feel like it was one of those things where he thought that the money was going to get her. Now, granted, we just looking at the video from an outside perspective, but you see he got the car. You feel what I'm saying? He flew her out. He probably showed her like, yo, I got money, I got this and that. So because I got this money, you're going to give me this ass. So to a certain extent, I commend her for knowing her worth to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like both sides are wrong. You feel what I'm saying? Both parties are wrong in this situation. Because that was the question I was gonna have y'all y'all ask. I mean, have y'all answer who was wrong in this situation. And I feel like for me, I feel like both of them were. I feel like she went in there knowing what the actual situation is gonna be, and she kind of led him on to a certain extent. Because from what you hear, he said you was walking around here butt ass naked, doing all this other shit, you know, turning me on, but you ain't trying to do nothing now. Is that right or is that wrong? You feel what I'm saying? And on his end, you flew her out just thinking you just gonna get the pussy right then and there. If you were a real dude, right, a grown man, you won't have to sit up here and ask for anything. You could show her a good time, and you never know. Them draws might just come off just because she had a good time. You feel what I'm saying? Like you said, you don't have to sit up here and talk about the pussy. You see what I'm saying? The situations and the energy that flows, the pussy can come. The pussy will come. When you don't ask for it, that shit'll show up. But when you do, that shit gone, yo.
And then, but sometimes when you don't ask for it, that's your ass because you missed out. A lot of times it don't come because you don't ask.
But it depends on the situation, though.
It does depend on it. It depends.
There's a lot of variables with that. You know, a fumble now may mean something greater later too. You see what I'm saying? It's not always bad to fumble the bag right then and there. You feel what I'm saying? A missed opportunity ain't always a missed opportunity in the long run. It's just a missed opportunity for that one moment.
And I bet off that motherfucking camera, when that video was done, they were still talking to each other via text. You fucking asshole. I can't believe you did this. Fuck you, bitch. It's all over emotions. Because if I'm a female and I'm finna be flowed out, I gotta know you. We had to talk about it. We had to have some type of communication. I gotta make sure my money right just in case. You know what I'm saying? On a mature mindset. These some kitty shit videos that we saw, right? So we thinking off top, this bitch dumb. And we thinking oh, he bogus as hell. But really behind the scenes, the underdog of it all, there's more to it. Because the way she was talking, she already knew what was going down when he threw her out. Whether it was going to be sex the first, the second, or the third night, she knew that some type of sexual energy was going to be in there. Because ain't no way in hell a motherfucker's going to pay for a ticket to fly you out and you ain't giving up nothing.
No bullshit. And airline prices are expensive as fuck right now, yo.
They are expensive.
And that's not currency because she got on that motherfucking plane. She gave him her information. It was sealed then. It took two people to make that transaction work.
Yeah, I guess that just goes into a point, like, why would you put yourself in that situation? But I guess she was just taking a chance. I mean, we never know what she was thinking because maybe she was thinking, like, yeah, I'm going to go and see what's up and get a feel from him. He might get it, you know. But like I said, he was drooling, bro. Like, the way he was talking.
Yeah.
Because at that point, if you didn't get what you want and you felt like she need to leave, why would you drive her to the airport? Why not just get her a Uber? You feel what I'm saying?
But that may have been a level of respect right then and there too, though.
But he put her on camera and put her on black. First of all, he made himself look like an idiot because it's on his page. Yeah. Second of all, he made her look crazy as hell because now everybody knows who she is. And it's, you know, he was just out of control because he was yelling about it outside the car. He was talking to TSA officers. You could tell that prior to this, he was just as soon as she got there, he was just horny as shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He ain't have no cool. And she was probably like, I don't know, this nigga might have something or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he was thirsty.
I want to give it to him, but he just way too thirsty. Like, how often is he really having sex? Because he's way too thirsty for this.
Yeah. So who do y'all think was wrong in the situation?
Both of them, like you said. It take two. You know what I'm saying? It's three sides to every story. So she was wrong for the way that she acted and projected, and he was dead wrong for assuming that she got to open up her legs because you paid for a plane ticket. It's pettiness all the way around.
It is. It truly is. Well,
I think TikTok was wrong.
Go to the video. What's wrong? That nigga was
because it's just another exploit of our black asses doing stupid shit.
He said, "What's your name?" Fuck you, bitch.
Yeah, man, she won't give me no pussy. Y'all need to put her back in that plane.
The ego was just inflated.
Right.
Inflated. So he had to show the world, fuck this bitch. She not finna play me for his ego.
That's crazy.
That's real shit, though. Well,
so, all right, let's flip the script, though.
Go ahead.
Hold up, Crack. Hold up, Dynasty. We got to take a pause for the cause, man. You know we got to make this a part 2. Sorry, y'all. We're going to have to cut it short right here and pick it up next week. Yo, this is your boy Comedic Energy. That was Dynasty and your boy Kraynupe. We'll be back. Peace, people.
Dirty Mouth Radio.